In the animal kingdom, it's called nesting, the instinct to get your home ready for the arrival of an offspring. Humans, we're no different. When it comes to nesting, we're just less Amazon like the animals and more Amazon Prime. You can't really be a Dadiator without the dad jokes, so class is in session. Welcome to the Dadiator channel, where we flatten the steep learning curve of parenthood by making key information easy to find, easy to understand, and easy to act on. For new moms and dads just like you.
It's the Dadiator. It's the Dadiator. With the Dadiator.
Today we're kicking off the nesting series, which aims to give you a comprehensive list of items that made our life way easier once the baby came home. We'll start by diving deep into one of the most important categories, feeding. But quick PSA before we begin, please don't feel like you need to get everything on this list. Cave parents didn't have bottle sterilizers or rocking chairs, and their babies turned out just fine. These are just things that made our transition into parenthood smoother, but they're not all necessities. So use your judgment and pick what's useful for you. And of course, it wouldn't be the Dadiator channel if we didn't bucketize the chaos, right? So this whole nesting series is broken into 5 easy categories. Feeding, everything about the loo, sleep, transportation, and hygiene for your baby. In today's episode, we're covering feeding, and the rest, that's coming in our weekly drops. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell to follow along. Trust me, this is going to save you a lot of trial and error, because for every Montessori advising you on what to buy and not to buy, there's 10,000 products out there trying to get your attention and your money. So listen up. Now, when we talk about the topic of feeding your baby, what you need really depends on how you're planning to feed your baby. If you're exclusively breastfeeding, a lot of these things might not apply, and you can consider that it's the easy route. And if you're pumping, expressing breast milk, or supplementing with formula, then a lot of these things will apply. So, just keep that in mind. Number 1 on this list is bottles. We use the mix of Dr. Brown's and Philips Avent. Some babies prefer one over another, and every baby is different. One of my nieces actually made her mom go through 8 or 9 different bottle brands, and she didn't like any of them and stuck to breastfeeding. So, it's hard for me to advise you on what brand your baby will like, but you do have to do some trial and error there. Those 2 I mentioned are some of the most popular, so maybe start there. As for how many bottles you need, again, that varies how often you want to clean and wash them. Personally, we started with 12 bottles because we were pumping and storing again, so a lot of them were getting caught up in the refrigerator. If you're exclusively bottle feeding, especially overnight, it helps to have enough clean bottles ready to go so you're not washing everything every few hours, especially in the middle of the night. Number 2 on this list is a breast pump. It's covered by most insurances, so check yours. And this can range from your hand pumped ones to your portable ones to your heavier duty ones. We actually used one of these portable rechargeable ones so that if we're out traveling, we can use that. But then we also had a big main unit at home as well. Pros and cons. That one is portable but doesn't do as good a job at expressing milk, whereas this one you can move around, but it pumps quicker and pumps a lot more volume. One thing to note with breast pumps is be really mindful of the flange size. You need the right flange, otherwise it may not express enough milk or just be painful. And I'm not sure if the default size works for everyone. On that note as well, I think it's standard where you get paired with a lactation consultant that typically walks you through a lot of this stuff. If you have that facility, use that and they'll help you and advise you on all of this. I'm not sure if that's standard for everyone though. Let me know in the comments if you've used one and where you live, and if you have found their services useful. Next up on our list is formula. Now obviously talk to your pediatrician about which formula is best for your baby. How ours described it was it's like Coke and Pepsi. They're all the same or similar, just with different branding. But huge caveat there, so make sure you talk to your pediatrician. Even if you're not planning to use formula right away, it doesn't hurt to have a tub on hand. We actually got a few tubs free from our pediatrician, so definitely ask. And these things do have supply chain shortages every now and then, so always helps to have some on stock. Next is the bottle warmer. If you're refrigerating breast milk or thawing frozen breast milk, this is super handy. We use it for formula too because our baby used to prefer it warm. Now I hear that some babies can just chug cold milk out of the fridge. If they do, they do. You probably don't need this, but in our case, he did. There's a bunch out there. The one thing you got to make sure is that it fits the bottle that you're using. Some of them are shorter and don't fit the longer bottles. Next is a bottle sterilizer. Now, yes, you can use a dishwasher or boil bottles in a pot, but if you're washing frequently, a dedicated sterilizer does really bring up your efficiency. Ours had solid capacity and it really gave some mental assurance that, hey, the bottles are sterilized and ready to go for the feed. Definitely worth the convenience. And honestly, our dishwasher can be a little shady sometimes and there's like bits of food left over sometimes. So, we didn't play those games. We just got dedicated stuff for the baby. Next is burp cloths. So get many. I mean many. Like take one, put one under your fridge, put one under your couch, shove one up in the attic, put one in the car, everywhere. Trust me, you'll go through more than you expect, so keep them stashed away in every room, almost like mini fire extinguishers. Next is the weighing scale. Now this mainly applies if you're worried about the weight of your baby. If you have a big baby and they're chugging down milk, no issues, then you might not need this. But if you do worry about the weight of the baby, then we found that having a scale at home really helped in tracking their weight at a higher frequency than waiting to go to the doctor's office. So, just more data points and more mental assurance instead of waiting, what am I going to find out when I go next week? Did Messiah gain weight or not? So that's that. Next item here is the nursing chair. My wife swears by this. Feeding sessions can get long and post-delivery body could really use some rest and has a lot of aches and pains. So, a comfortable nursing chair, especially at 2 a.m. at night, went a long way for us. If you don't want to do the chair, a nursing pillow is a good option as well. It can support during feedings and take some weight off your arms. You can use it on the couch, the bed, or even the car as well. So, it's a very versatile alternative. One really honorable mention that I would like to bring up is this baby Brezza. I mean, if you're formula feeding your baby and, if you can afford it, get one of these things, man. This is no guerrilla marketing. I really think their product has made our parenting journey so much easier. As I'm like scooping in formula and then warming up milk and putting it into the bottle and shaking it and getting it ready for the baby while he's crying at 3 at night. And I wish there was a machine that I could just press a button and it would do all of that for me. This machine was my answer. So, I really mean it. This has been very helpful for us for formula feeding. And, it's a machine we've used every single day. Actually, we miss it when we're traveling. So, highly recommend that. If you're still here with me, I'm going to make a wild assumption that this has been somewhat helpful for you so far. And if it has, please hit that like button and drop a comment so other parents like you can benefit from this content because, algorithm loves that stuff. Also, for OG parents, let us know in the comments what are things that you use for feeding your baby that has come very useful and, share the tip. You don't know which parent might need it. Hopefully, that gives you a solid foundation to avoid one of the greatest parenting villains of all time, the hangry baby, especially at night. And like I said earlier, don't feel the pressure to get it all. Pick what's right for you, and for your setup, have this stuff you won't even know until you need it. And like a wise man once told me, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And another wise man told me, whatever you don't need, you just return on Amazon. That's just part of the journey and you're doing just fine. Before you go, next week we're tackling a stinker, but equally essential topic, everything about the loo. What to get ahead of time to survive those messes. So please, please, please subscribe. You don't want to miss that one, and I'll see you in a week.
With the Dadiator.